You've been studying English alone for weeks, for months, for years, maybe even decades, but there are some things that you've been missing. You see, in order to study alone effectively, you must include 5 elements. And today, I'm going to teach you those 5 elements. Are you ready? Well then, let's jump right in. Element number 1 is own your schedule, own your progress. Own your schedule, own your progress. Let me break this down. You see, this element is about taking full control of when and how you study English so the learning fits not someone else's life, but your life. You see, you decide the routine, the pace, and the structure of your practice. So your progress is guided by your choices instead of outside demands. You see, it's possible to study English alone if you know your learning style. So let's break this down even more. Why is this so effective? Why is it important for you to own your schedule? Reason number 1, you see, consistency builds brain access. At the upper intermediate level, consistency matters more than intensity. Listen closely. Consistency at your level matters more than intensity. Studying at the same time daily actually trains your brain to expect English, keeping vocabulary and patterns actively accessible rather than dormant. This actually helps you learn more. Consistency builds brain access, which is why I'm saying it's so important for you to own your schedule. Know which time works for you. Here is reason number 2. Reason number 2 is study when your mind is ready. English fluency is not just about memorizing tons of words. It's about knowing how you learn. Study when your mind is ready. You see, you can match your study sessions to your natural energy peaks. For example, I'll be honest. Right now, I'm recording this lesson for you, and it is very early in the morning. Why? Because I know in the morning, I have the most energy. At night, listen, your teacher, energy gone, energy drained. But in the morning, whoo-wee, I woke up at 4 a.m. this morning, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, no problem. I know that I have more energy in the morning, so you can match your study sessions to the time of day when you have the most energy. This helps you engage with complex material when your mind is sharpest, not when you're mentally exhausted. I'm not going to learn as much as I possibly can at night when I compare it to the morning. I learn so much better when I study in the morning. And maybe you're a morning person. Reason number 3, move at your own speed. You see, a self-set pace, a pace that you set for yourself, means you're never forced to move on before a concept has clicked. This is why it is powerful to study alone. You just have to understand the 5 elements. Element number 1, again, owning your schedule, owning your progress. So, studying at your own speed. This is critical at this level, the level you are at, where the gaps are subtle and easy to gloss over. At the upper intermediate and even advanced English level, you've already learned a lot. So it's important for you to try to recognize those little things, the gaps that maybe are in your English. When you're studying on your own, recognizing your energy and moving at your own speed, you can address these things. So how can you actually implement this? This is how you can implement it. For the next 3 days, notice when you feel the most mentally alert. Is it the morning? Is it midday? Or is it in the evening? So again, I want you to track your energy levels over the next few days. I want you to think about how you feel, again, in the morning, midday, how are you feeling in the middle of the day, and then the evening. You're thinking about your energy level are you feeling? Good or are you feeling bad? Okay. What is your energy level? Let's see. Track your energy levels. Let's say on a scale of 0% to 100%. 100% being a lot of energy. Again, for the next 3 days, see when you're more mentally alert. So let's say, for example, we were looking at my energy levels. In the morning, I am at 100%. In the middle of the day, I usually am at 70%. But in the evening, as far as my energy levels, I'm usually at maybe a 30%. You see the difference? I know my energy levels. Over the next 3 days, you're going to track your energy levels. So you want to do this for 3-day tracking. All right. Track each day and see what your energy levels are. Then you're going to set a recurring 15-minute alarm labeled English during that window when you have the most energy, and use it to engage with one piece of content at whatever pace feels right. So, for example, for me, we already recognize that, okay, the morning is when I have the most energy. So I would set my 15-minute timer, a 15-minute timer in the morning. Why? This is when I have the most energy. I'm actually going to write that 15 a little bit larger. Okay. So I have a 15-minute timer. Now in that 15-minute period, I can pick whether I want to watch a video. You can pick. Maybe you want to listen to a podcast. Maybe you want to read an article. You can decide which piece or which type of English content you want to interact with. But again, a 15-minute alarm labeled English during that window. It needs to happen in that window. Again, you're labeling this your English time whenever you have the most energy. All right? Remember, pause, replay, and reflect as many times as you need on this information. So you are going to listen or watch, pause, and also reflect as many times as you need. You are tracking your energy. Again, the first element is to own your schedule, own your progress. You can do this at your own pace. But remember, figure out when you have the most energy. All right? This moves us to element number 2, studying alone. Remove the pressure and unlock your real English. Again, remove the pressure and unlock your real English. So this element number 2, is about creating a private, relaxed practice space where you can use English out loud without performing for anyone. It's a very comfortable environment, very relaxing, no stress. You focus on expressing your ideas naturally and building comfort, so your real English shows up more consistently. You're not worried about those around you. You're just focusing on getting the English out. Now, why is it so important to remove the pressure? Here is reason number 1. Pressure hides your real ability. Man, this is so true. Pressure hides your real ability. You see, upper intermediate learners often know far more than they can access under social pressure. You know so much English. I actually want to show this to you visually. So I want you to imagine that this is your brain. All right? You know tons of English, right? Your brain is full of English. You're very intelligent. You've put so much English in. However, the moment you feel external pressure, Maybe there are people looking at you and you start to feel stressed. You aren't able to, in these situations, access all of that information. And instead of it being clear, it now becomes hazy and you can't access anything. And instead of speaking, you're just silent because you see the external factors as being a hindrance. This is what happens to many upper, intermediate, and advanced English learners. You know so much, but because of that social pressure, it won't come out. So a stress-free environment lets your brain retrieve vocabulary and grammar that freezes in real conversations. Here's reason number 2. Risk-taking grows your active vocabulary. You see, without the anxiety of being judged or evaluated, you can take risks with new words and new expressions, which is exactly the kind of practice that moves passive vocabulary into active use. When you're practicing by yourself, there's no one around you, you don't feel any pressure, you can take those risks. Let me try to use that new word, because you're not worrying about anybody judging you. And reason number 3, why removing the pressure is so powerful. Calm reveals what pressure hides. A calm environment actually reveals what a pressure-filled environment hides. You see, a calm study environment allows you to notice the small things, a natural rhythm, a subtle word choice, a connected speech pattern that disappear when your nervous system is in performance mode. When you're calm and relaxed, you start realizing, I didn't realize I liked that phrase so much, or I didn't realize that was my pattern, because you are calm. So how can you implement this? This is what I want you to do. I want you to set a 5-minute timer and speak out loud in English alone in your room about anything that happened that day. So again, you're alone in your room, and again, your goal is to speak. You want to speak for 5 minutes. So your goal is to speak out loud for 5 minutes. You have your timer set. There's no one around you. You have your timer set for 5 minutes. You're just going to talk. Now remember, about anything that happened to you today. You're focusing on anything that happened to you throughout your day. So this right here is about your day. Maybe what you ate. Maybe, let's say, maybe you're speaking about your meal, right? Your food you had. Or maybe you're speaking about individuals you met throughout the day. Or maybe you're speaking about your car as you were driving, what happened while you were driving. You're thinking about your day. Maybe you're speaking about a report you had to give to your boss, or maybe you're speaking about a phone call you had with your friend, or maybe you're speaking about something delicious that you drank at work. You're speaking about your day for 5 minutes. You want to use at least one word you recognized recently but have never said out loud. So in the midst of you speaking, you want to use one new word or expression. One new word or expression. Again, you're speaking about something that happened in your day, maybe someone you met, and you're using at least one new word or expression in a 5-minute period. There's no audience, no corrections, no stopping. Just let the words flow. Let them come out. This is how you remove the pressure and unlock your real English. Let's now go to element number 3. Element number 3 is study what pulls you in, not what you're assigned. Study what pulls you in, not what you're assigned. You see, studying what pulls you in, what interests you, what draws your attention, means choosing English content and activities you genuinely enjoy. So practice feels natural and sustainable. I did this when I was learning Korean. I enjoy cooking, so I would watch tons of Korean cooking programs. It never felt stressful. Why? Because I enjoy cooking. Instead of following someone else's plan, you use your interests to guide what you listen to, read, and talk about in English. This helps you build a routine that fits your life and keeps you engaged over time. Study what pulls you in, not what you're assigned. Now, I want to give you the three main reasons why this is important. Here's the first reason. Repetition through real interest. You see, when you study English through topics you genuinely care about, you encounter the same vocabulary repeatedly in meaningful contexts, which is what moves words from recognition into production. Repetition through real interest. Now, before I get to reason 2, I want to remind you this is something that is actually a part of the English with Tiffany app. Now, this is an app that I created to help English learners just like you. You can download it totally for free. English with Tiffany, the app, the link is in the description, or you can go to your app store. Again, English with Tiffany, download it for free. In the app, there are many different courses, many different lessons, many different practice sections. But there's also a specific section called Topical English. You can select the topic that you're interested in, learn vocabulary words related to that topic, practice using them, also practice your speech, your pronunciation. This is something that's important to help you on your English journey, practicing based on your interests. So if you want to use the app that I've created for you and hundreds of thousands of other English learners currently using it, all you have to do is download the English with Tiffany app, totally free to download. There's a premium option if you want to get some premium courses, but it's free to download. Hit the link in the description. Remember, it's important to study based on your interests. So here's the second reason why studying what pulls you in is so powerful. Learn the English of your world. You see, interest-driven content exposes you to the specific vocabulary, tone, and register of the world you actually want to participate in. Whether that's business, culture, science, or entertainment, or like for me, art or cooking. You're learning the English that applies to you, the English that you will use in conversations. And reason number 3, real content trains a real ear. You see, authentic engagement with content you love trains your ear for natural, unscripted English, which is far more valuable at your level than any controlled textbook dialogue. It's so important to learn based on what you're interested in. So how can you implement this? Here's what I want you to do. Write down one topic you are genuinely passionate about. A few moments ago, I mentioned that I am passionate about cooking. So you're going to write a topic that you are genuinely passionate about. I am going to write cooking. I truly enjoy cooking. So you write down the topic you are genuinely passionate about. Now find one English podcast, one YouTube channel, or newsletter focused specifically on that topic and commit to consuming only that source for the next 2 weeks. So you can either find a YouTube video or a YouTube channel, right? A YouTube channel about cooking, or a podcast that is focused on cooking, or a newsletter that is focused on cooking. All right. So either a YouTube channel, a podcast, or a newsletter. And what you're going to do again is for the next 2 weeks, commit to consuming only that resource. So let's say, for example, Ooh, I really found a great podcast. I found a great podcast. So, for the next 2 weeks, I am only going to consume this podcast. This is my focus. I'm going to listen to it every day. And as I'm listening, I'm going to learn new things. Now, you want to pay attention not just to what is being said, but how it is being said. So I'm listening for what is being said and how it's being said, plus how it is being said. This is what you're focusing on, what and how. So pick one resource for a 2-week period, devour it, consume it, and listen to what is being said and how it's being said. This is how you actually improve and finally start studying what pulls you in so that you can properly study alone. This leads us to our 4th element. Again, how to effectively practice and study alone. Train your brain to see the system behind the language. So this element is about shifting from studying English as separate rules and vocabulary lists to noticing how the language works as a connected system. You learn to pay attention to patterns in real English so you can use them naturally in your own speaking and writing, recognizing the patterns, recognizing the systems behind the language. Here's why this is so powerful. Reason number 1, rules become instincts. You see, upper, intermediate, and advanced English learners already have a strong foundation. Pattern recognition shifts your focus from memorizing rules to internalizing how English actually flows. So speaking starts to feel instinctive, implicit knowledge. Remember, we learned that in our previous lesson. If you didn't watch it, go back and watch it from last week. But it starts to feel instinctive rather than constructive. Reason number 2, apply patterns without thinking. You see, noticing patterns in real English, how native speakers hedge, emphasize, or connect ideas, gives you a mental framework you can apply in live, real conversations without having to consciously think it through. You're recognizing these commonly used patterns. And reason number 3, see your own habits clearly. Recognizing patterns in your own mistakes reveals the specific habits your brain has built around translation or avoidance, which you can't fix until you can clearly see them. This is why it's powerful to understand this element when you're studying alone. You can self-correct. So how do you implement this? Training your brain to see the system. Here's how you implement this. Record yourself speaking in English for 2 minutes about any topic. Take your phone, take a recording device, and record yourself speaking in English for 2 minutes. Not stopping, but speaking in English about any topic for 2 minutes. So again, you're going to speak about a topic you select, right? You must speak about this topic without stopping. For how long again? Excellent. You're doing this for a 2-minute period. And remember, you need to record yourself. All right? It's 2 minutes, but you're also recording yourself. All right? Recording yourself for this 2-minute period. All right? Now listen back and identify one moment where you hesitated, simplified a word, or felt something was off. So then you are going to listen. So let's make this a little bit smaller. Here we go. Let's make this a little bit smaller. There we go. All right, slide this over. You need to listen And what are you listening for? Again, you're listening for when you hesitated or when you felt like something was off. Was something off? Ask yourself, was something off or was something strange? Recognize when this happened. Oh, maybe right here as I'm listening to it, I recognize when something was strange. Then find a 3-minute unscripted English video and watch it specifically to find how a native speaker handles the same type of moment. This is where it gets interesting. All right. So now you take this, right? So you're going here. This is 1. This is 2. And this is now 3. 3 is you're finding something that is either a video or an audio podcast where another native speaker speaks for at least 3 minutes, unscripted, and uses something that can address your issue. And you want to listen to them as they speak. And you want to see how you can correct your error. All right? This one right here, this one right here. And you recognize, this is how they fixed it. Again, this is how you learn how to handle that same type of moment. Training your brain to see the system. Where did you make this mistake? And then finding someone who has corrected that mistake in their speech. All right? This moves us to element number 5. Connect your English to the life you're actually living. This element is about making your English practice match your real day-to-day life. So the language you learn feels personal, practical, and easy to use. Personal, practical, and easy to use. You focus on speaking and learning in ways that connect to the conversations, situations, and goals you actually have right now. I want to write this out so that you remember these words. Again, personal, practical, and easy to use. Our focus for element number 5. Personal, practical, and what was the last one? Yes, easy to use. This is the type of English you want to focus on. So what are the reasons for this? Why is this element so important? Reason number 1, study English you'll use tomorrow. This is why it's so powerful. When you connect your English to your life, you'll start learning English that you'll actually use the next day. Studying English through situations that reflect your real work, your relationships, your daily life means the vocabulary and expressions you're building are immediately usable, not stored away for a hypothetical future. You can use them right away. Reason number 2, close the gap between study and reality. Closing this gap. You see, real life connection closes the gap between the English you study and the English you need, which is the exact gap that keeps upper intermediate learners feeling stuck despite years of effort. This is the gap, studying versus reality. I know the information, but why can't I use it? Again, we're focusing on personal, practical, and easy to use English. Here is reason number 3. Make